On this International Human Rights Day, we remind the world that Balochstan continues to face one of the gravest human rights crises of our time. For decades, the people of Balochstan have endured a systematic campaign of violence, fear and erasure. Yet their sufferings remains largely ignored by the global community. Balochstan has long been a site of severe human rights violations, but this past year has been one of the most horrific and unprecedented in its scale of brutality. Today, as the world speaks about human rights, human dignity, and universal rights, Balochstan stands as a stark example of how deeply those rights can be violated. In Balochistan, enforced disappearances have reached on an alarming peak, where more than 1,180 cases were reported this year alone, including 53 minors. For the first time in years, this cycle of violence expanded in even further, targeting women and girls. 12 Baloch women were forcefully disappeared in 2025, and 3 of them remain missing, and their whereabouts still remain unknown. The year also witnessed more than 189 cases of extrajudicial killings and fake encounters, where the individuals were arrested without charge, tortured, in custody and killed and then dumped. Shockingly, 6 of these victims were women, reflecting an extreme level of state impunity and a complete collapse of constitutional protection. In Balochistan, on the daily basis, military operations, drone strikes, shelling, mortars, raids, and blockades become routine in civilian areas. These attacks resulted in the killings of children, widespread trauma, and the forced displacement of entire villages. Indigenous Baloch families were pushed into forced migration, leaving behind their homes, their land, and their livelihoods. This year also marked one of the most dangerous periods for peaceful political dissents. Human rights activists were threatened, harassed, abducted, imprisoned, and charged in fabricated cases. Hundreds of students, human rights defenders, and political activists continue to face false accusations aimed solely at silencing democratic expression. In Balochistan, freedom of speech and expression itself is treated as a crime. The region has been turned into a media black hole where journalists are silenced, barred from reporting, or coerced into spreading state narratives. As a result, most of the violence remains undocumented and unseen by the world. The people of Balochistan have endured every form of state repression, state barbarism, brutality, and collective punishment. Yet, despite this all, their demand remains simple. The basic human rights that every community, every human, and every nation deserves. On this International Human Rights Day, we urge the international community, the global human rights organizations, and all the defenders of justice to break their silence. We call on them to raise their voices against the ongoing atrocities in Balochistan and to pressure the state of Pakistan to end its policies of enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings, collective punishment, and the systematic genocide of Baloch nation. The world cannot claim to stand for human rights while ignoring Balochistan.
Tevati Baluchi channel, a host TV. Goma Hambabed.
Russian TV.